Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do 2 more Hello Kitty balls. I've been going through these really slowly because I'm always working on multiple projects at once. Plus, I like to take my time and really enjoy each one. If I blast through them all, I feel like I don't really get all the joy that I do normally by taking my time. This little strawberry milk tray, you're not going to notice it while I am building these because I set it aside to make a mold out of it, and then I didn't actually mold this in my first round, so I still haven't even molded it. Just like all the others, every single item in here is adorable. This kettle is one of the best accessories. Such a cute resin holder. It comes out pretty decently, like better than the syrups, for sure. So that wasn't too upsetting. Way better than the rectangular boxes that I feel like don't come out very well at all. Cute, and it works. Tiny little bows on the chopsticks. They just really worked out the cute design details on these, and I enjoy every moment of it. Starting off with the strawberry milks, you pour in the milk, you pour in the powder, and then you stir it around inside the little tiny cup. So I can see if you weren't mixing the two together, this would be a pretty simple, pretty boring thing to make, but also it feels like this would go so much better and have less mess and more consistency if it was just all one resin that I could use, or if this came with a different container to mix it in. So in this first one, I just filled the whole thing and added a ton of the powder. In person, it was actually hard to tell how pink it had gotten. I kept adding more powder because it just felt so white until I did the second one. I realized as I made the first one that filling it all the way up like that, I couldn't cure it in layers without forgetting the straw again. So the second one, I tried something different. I didn't put as much in, and I am coating the entire outside. So that way I don't have to worry about trying to match the layer coloring as I cure and add more. And this is just an alcohol wipe that I'm using to wipe off the top, and then I'm going to cure this outer coating and then fill it. And I did add a little bit more powder to the inside because otherwise I felt like it was still a little bit lighter, and I think it's just because it was a really thin coating. And then I cut my straw so that it would sit in there a little bit nicer because there was still some hardened layering on the bottom. And then I cured that new section that, because it was less tinted, should have been less opaque and easier to cure all the way through. And then I added the little thing on top, a little whipped cream and strawberry. But with the first one, I just cured it for a very, very long time, hoping that it would make it all the way through. Alright, so the ramen, you peel the top off, you pour in the water from the kettle, you put in the powdery stuff, and then you add the toppings. Oh crap. Now the plastic is peeling apart from the design. I kind of liked the idea of having this top peeled a little bit, but it would not come off nicely. And I could not get all these side pieces off. I'm going to pull a couple of these out so that if I want to do some kind of a motion situation, I'll have those left. And pouring some of the water in. Once again, this kettle does pour out pretty nicely. It's not a huge struggle like some of the other odd shapes. So here's where things went wrong. I opened this like a normal ramen packet. You just flip it and everything settles. It didn't.
Works every time.
And then I added way too much. You see this? This is way too much. Do not do this. I poured in a little bit more water and started stirring, and I have so much mica powder in there that it's so gold and so opaque. I tried adding more of the water resin. It did not dilute it enough. I'm just using an alcohol pad to try to clean up the mica. I was kind of lazy about it. It didn't clean it up all the way. So in the end, I actually poured some of this liquid out. I took out my noodles, I put them on this alcohol pad, and I then poured out some of the resin mixture into another little cup that I had sitting to the side. You can see here that I think this is the first time ever that I've actually gotten resin on my fingers during one of these projects, so it's probably time that I actually get in the habit of using gloves. But once I had some of that poured out, I added more clear resin that I just had laying around because I was unable to add any more resin from the kettle. Here I am using the tongs to kind of pull up the noodles as I cure it so that they're coming up a little bit, adding a little more clear resin so that I can stick these pieces onto it so that it has its cute little toppings. And then some of the sprinkled chili powder. And I didn't want to add that directly from the container because sometimes that results in a huge mess, like my mica powder mess. So I put it into my hand and sprinkled it. Using my tweezers, I am attaching a couple of stray noodles. Then I will also coat these in resin and sprinkle a little bit more stuff on them. And then I'll add the chopsticks so that it looks like they're pulling some noodles up. Because this thing's already a mess, so I might as well make it like a frozen moment situation. Honestly, if I had made it look like it was tipping over and making a giant mess, it also would have made sense. But I just want to share that whenever I have this extra resin laying around, like the toothpicks, I cure it before I throw it away. You always want to cure the resin before you throw it in the garbage. It's just a good idea. I have mixed feelings, honestly, on both of these projects. The strawberry milk is really adorable. I love all the pieces that come with it. I love the final product. I feel like in order to make it more interactive, they made it more difficult without making that interaction meaningful. I think I would have preferred it if I just poured in colored milk. but it's really cute. So I think I would give that one a 7 out of 10, which is probably the highest I would give to a beverage, just like a straight beverage. It's got a great tray. I love the little vintage milk bottles, the straws with the bows. It's got the little strawberries on top. It's really nice looking, and the fact that you get 2 makes it a really cool set and a really nice composition with the tray. Now the ramen. All of the pieces separately are great. I love the little Hello Kitty charms that come to go in it. The container didn't open nicely. I didn't like how that looked. It looked messy with that stuff around the rim. I think it would have been nice to have that still partially on there. The mica, that was my fault. I should have known better than to add that much. Poor decision. Learn from me. I still think it turned out cute in the end. I'm happy with it. I would say that this is probably a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It could be a 10 out of 10 if that lid situation hadn't happened. So if I got another one of these and the lid opened perfectly, I think that would be at worst a 9 out of 10. I hope I see you next time. I'm going to do the last 2 sets that I have, and then after that I will have a bunch of remixes that I have in mind. I've done so many molds from some of these pieces and from some other stuff. If you're enjoying this as much as I am, please like the video, subscribe if you're excited to see the next, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye!